Hello. We're going to get started again on how to grow spiritually. And last week we went through this concept of progressive overload. I'm just going to summarize it briefly here. That the concept of CrossFit is pushing yourself to the max, where you can um, set a goal. The goal actually is to lift more than you can, basically. To do something that your body's not able to do before, but that's your goal. And the spiritual laws work in the same way, in the sense that when we believe God for something, or when we have never done something before, but because we want to grow our faith, we want to grow spiritually, we push ourselves to believe for things that we've not had uh, experienced in our lives before. And this is uh, what uh, progressive overload is, basically overloading, just going a little bit more, and just like a bodybuilder, doing weightlifting. If they're, let's say, doing 10 reps, the first eight might be okay, but the last two are going to be difficult. And that is the part where the person has to exert all his energy and have a personal coach help him with the last 40%. Last week I spoke that the first 60% is what people normally put out before they give up, and then there's 40% extra that they're not putting out, so they quit early. And that's when a personal coach is helpful to get you through that workout or that experience where you're actually pushing yourself to the max. So the last 40% is where you see the growth happen. For bodybuilders, your muscles tear, or it actually uh, goes into overdrive, and that's what builds up your muscles. So um, I'm going to go into the next concept for growing spiritually, and this next one is called the concept of consistent corresponding action. Consistent corresponding action means basically doing the same thing repeatedly. And this is very important. Now, a lot of us have routines, we have habits that we've built over the years, and just think of how your skills have grown, how you've gotten better at something just because you stayed at it. There are pianists that play the piano, musicians that practice over and over again their skills, and years down the road, I don't know, 5, 10 years down the road, they are uh, tremendous musicians, able to put out a piece that is beyond your wildest dream. The way they play, and it's just they've been putting in the time and effort, and they've been practicing using this principle of consistent corresponding action. So let me just go in the Word of God, how we can do this spiritually. So I'm going to read from Matthew 7:24, uh, regarding the man that built his house on the rock, two men, and the other one building his house on the sand. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and act on them will be like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain fell, and the river rose, and the wind blew, and it pounded on the house. Yet it did not collapse, because its foundation was on a rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and